The United States and NORAD are struggling to recover the string of objects shot down across North America. The remnants are in Alaska, Canada, and Lake Huron, but no luck grabbing it all so far as the evidence is scattered high up across mountaintops and way down at the bottom of the Great Lakes. White House correspondent Allison has more on the race to figure out exactly what these mysterious objects were that were flying above our heads and that we shot down. Good morning, Allison.
Good morning, Mitch. So it's not going to be a fast race. We may never know what these objects are. The spokesperson for the National Security Council explaining there is an intensive recovery effort underway in some very difficult conditions. Debris from the 3 objects shot down Friday, Saturday, and Sunday have not yet been found.
2, 3, and 4 not yet recovered. They're in very difficult terrain. The second one off the coast of Alaska is that's up in some really difficult terrain in the Arctic Circle with very low temperatures in the -40s. The second one is in the Canadian Rockies in Yukon. Very difficult to get that one. And the third one is in Lake Huron at probably a couple hundred feet depth. So we'll get them eventually, but it's going to take some time to recover those.
You hear General Milley there saying it's going to take some time, even though patience is wearing thin for some lawmakers and the public who want to learn more about these objects, if we can learn anything more at all. Admiral John Kirby saying that the objects could be benign. They could belong to a research group or even a corporate entity. Nothing at this time, according to officials, points these objects as being part of the Chinese spy balloon program, so not part of the balloon that was initially found. They are not believed to pose any threat to national security, and the U.S. is now ruling out these being U.S. government objects. Now the White House is working on new parameters on how to deal with these incidents of high-altitude objects moving forward, and those protocols are expected to be in place by the end of the week. Mitch?
Well, Allison, the senators, the entire Senate has received a classified briefing on those objects, but doesn't seem like they're very satisfied with that briefing, and they want more information released, not only to themselves, but to the public. So what are we hearing on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, so we're hearing from lawmakers saying that they think that the public should be briefed on the information that they were given. And we're hearing that from Republicans and Democrats in the president's own party. Listen.
How can I tell you not to worry about something if I can't tell you what it is? And I don't blame them for not knowing what it is. I blame them for not following a process that gets us closer to.
My hope would be that we are much more aggressive about trying to make sure that objects that are up there for legitimate scientific, weather or other purposes, that there is a much better notification process with authorities. That seems to me to be a bit of a gap.
That's what you're hearing more from lawmakers, talking about the gap there, and that there needs to be more action in how we're even detecting these objects and able to take them down, talking about whether that could be a national security threat to the United States. Now, the president has not talked about these objects that were shot down over the weekend. He's giving remarks later today in Maryland on the economy, and he also doesn't have any public plans to talk about them or give a speech on these objects anytime soon. There is some reporting out this morning that those conversations are happening behind the scenes. The Biden administration has said that this is a top priority for them. Mitch?
Thank you very much, Allison. I know we all want more information. We're looking forward to getting some more.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.